I remember when I was in school, you could still take up wood shop. How many of y'all remember when you could take up plumbing? When back in the day, you could still take up a trade in school. Now, I know it's probably still some schools left that have different trades you can take, but the majority that I know, and it's a lot, they took the trades out of school, right? And start focusing more on college courses. Who's all going to college? And one of the worst things they told me is that if you don't go to college and get a degree, I won't be successful in this life. Man, they messed up our mindset with everything. Teaching us that you gotta eat, have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Milk does a body good. They everything. Watch this on TV, television. Tell your vision. And even in history, they never taught us about so many black people who invented so many things that they took credit for. We didn't hear about that history. They didn't want to talk about the Tulsa Massacre, Black Wall Street, things that we talk about, and how we were successful. When I was growing up, they told us we wasn't going to be nothing if we didn't go to college. Now I remember them old men back in the day, and it reminds me of Amos James on here, because Amos James is a plumber. And Amos James is not just a plumber. He know how to do different things. But you remember you used to take up plumbing in school. That's a skill. Welding, you got different things, metal. Welding. What happened to all these things that they took out of the public school? Who owned the public school? Who started teaching education? This is not to sound like I'm just, oh man, he don't like white people. He going off on white people. This is not what this is about. I'm really responding back to another email about, okay, in this particular email also, shout out to you, Sister Mickey. You said they called us dumb, or they treated animals better than us. They sick the animals on us. We know all the way back in the day how we couldn't eat in the same restaurants. Really, were we better off? Set apart. Which was better, segregation or desegregation? And now you want to see this so-called Black History Month. And now I just reflect back on even when I was in school, they took the trades out. And look at how many people black people was already invent things and was already way smarter than the professor that was in the school. But they never talked about that. How was black people able to make this and make that? And look at my lady that just passed away not too long ago. I think she the one that invented the call ID. Forgive me, y'all. My mind went on blank with her name right now. Just help me out in the comment section. Just to use that for an example. And not just her. How many things was created by the black people, but they took the credit for it. But you didn't hear about it in history. What they taught, they give you the Martin Luther King and the Malcolm X and the Rosa Parks, W.E.B. and a few more and this and that, and they didn't even tell the truth about that. And then you start looking at I just talked about this in the Tulsa Massacre video. We was owning our own movie theaters, you name it, bus companies, you name it, banks, and we got slaughtered, murdered. But to call us dumb, we don't know nothing. See, let me say something to the younger generation. And I'm going to say this boldly to the ones that done shot up each other, especially the young ones that died at 25 years old, street life. Man, they so strong, they don't even know how strong they are. They bold, but they using it for all the wrong reasons. I'm not talking about all you young people. How many done died in the ground and lost their life behind the streets, or looking up to some gangster rapper who done bragged about how many people they done murdered, and here it is, in this day time, we done lost so many strong men and strong women, but wasting it. I remember my old partner, he passed away. He said, man, this young generation, man, they don't even know how strong they are. They bold, they ain't taking no mess, but they killing each other. I said, wow, that's the same way I feel when I see every time I turn around, here come another something on the news dying behind gun violence. We keep taking each other out. Jadakiss, I think his song was called Why. Even in that song, when Jadakiss said, why they stop letting brothers get degrees in jail, let's stop right there. I remember when you can get out of the penitentiary, especially one that changed their life around and never went back. He got his CDL license while he was in prison. I remember my uncle say, man, I'm gonna commit a crime just so I can go get me a trade or something in the penitentiary and come back out and be doing better. You got people that went to prison and did time and then came back out in the real world and making more money than the ones that's been out there struggling. Then they start shutting that down because they know that we're not dumb. We may choose to do some foolish things, but man, black people are some of the most creative people on this planet, on this earth. Excuse me. And it's just, you see, wasted talent. But that's why I say when you learn a skill, a trade, but see, they took that out of school. That part right there. Y'all remember when I did that video? You don't educate somebody you can dominate, you train them. Because you're going to train them to only let them know what you want them to know because you don't want them to go past you. Why do they call this an educational system? Who is it really benefiting? What are they putting in front of you as math? What are they telling you to read? Is it going to really benefit you in life? Look at how many people that went to college and got degrees and still struggling to find a good job. They either overqualified or underqualified nowadays. How do you spend, then you got people that's got degrees, they don't even want to be in that profession no more. But when you walk in your calling, teach Holy Spirit. Woo. Your degree is what you pay for, but that calling is what you are made for. See, you got all these preachers out here. I got to take it there. You got all these preachers arguing about seminary school. Who went to seminary school and who didn't? Like you really needed seminary school to be taught by the Holy Spirit. I'm not knocking what people do, but there's so many ministers keep arguing about, and pastors arguing about, you need to go to school, go to school, go to school, go to school. Same thing they told us, go to school, go to school, go to college. Man, I ain't never went to college a day in my life. And I ain't knocking people that go to college. But everybody wasn't supposed to go to college. Everybody ain't cut out for college. There are people in this life who are way more successful than people that went to college. And they making way more money than people that got their degree and went to college. And some of them hate on each other. I remember Lavelle Crawford said something in one of his old stand-ups when he was talking about when he was in school and the teacher made fun of him. Told him how he wasn't going to be nothing. He didn't know the capital of some place. And he was making a funny joke, but at the same time, the joke was so real because Lavelle Crawford started being so successful, being a comedian. Like he said, I can come back and buy all the schools. Or look at somebody that couldn't read as well as others that they said, oh, you ain't gonna make it that far in life. You can't even read worth it. People made so much fun of so many people in this life that couldn't read, but look at how much money they making. When you learn a trade, when you gain a skill and you are successful, see some of them older men back in the day, they was already graduating from high school with a skill. They took it out. I was in the wood shop when I was in school. I remember when I graduated and I started delivering, what happened to the auto mechanic? Some schools may still have it, but I remember delivering auto paint to this huge high school, and I was so impressed because the high school had a mechanic shop in the back of it, huge mechanic shop, and they was in there taking motors out, putting in transmissions. I said, where was that at when I was in school? They took it out. They started taking it out around the 80s. 1980, 1990, trade started going, but if you could have got a trade while you was in school, you wasn't worried about going to college. And look at how much money you had to spend. Now, look at how many parents are mad. They done put up this money and they child, I don't even want to do this, mama. Dad, I know what I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to college. I told my mama when I was in high school, I don't want to go to college. I'm going to take this music this skill I got with music, and this music gonna work for me. I ain't trying to go. I was already tired of school. You want me to graduate then go back to school? You want me to go to college? No. And you remember back then, y'all gonna either go to college or you going into the army. Which one is it? Neither. I was trying to pick up a trade. And some people act like a trade ain't good enough. And I look at people that's got their skill, like I talked about Bud Amos. Man, don't you know being a plumber, like my plumber that I know over here in Dallas, man, 2 of them, man, they make they done made a beautiful killing off of being a plumber. That's a trade. Some people laugh, oh man, they dirty, man, they gotta go up, man. Just like some men I know that's garbage men. You wouldn't think that garbage man was making that type of money over there, did you? Well, how much he making, JT? Man, that man making $44 an hour. That's real good to a lot of people. In this daytime, man, everything done increased. The cost of living. So I just wanted to share this with you. When you had a chance to make a trade, why did they take it out of school? I just told my wife this. Why did they take that out of school? Why did they start feeding us their education? Why they say we were so dumb and we didn't know nothing? And they started teaching us what they wanted us to know. Man, Dick Gregory said this long time ago. Dick Gregory was talking about this type of stuff when he was talking about America heading downhill and crashing, and how Dick Gregory was talking about segregation and the Jim Crow. When he said, he said, mark my word, huh? Y'all know how Dick Gregory would say, huh? He asked you a question, say, huh? What you think gonna happen, huh? And it happened. And it's still happening. And he said one of the worst things they did was gave us education. And they make it such a struggle because they know, and I'm not talking about everybody, but they know a whole lot of people wasn't gonna be able to afford college. But then when you look at college, look at that whole thing. Who's really getting over? The people that's, let me just leave it alone. I talked about this a while back. But who's really making the money? The professors, or is it really the college students? How much does it cost now to house one college student? And what if they don't make it? Can you get that money back? How much is in tuition now? What happens when you can't to pay it? What happens when your grades ain't right? Can you get this money back? What happened to the trades being in high school? Shalom.